North America, we tend to think of salsa as a combination of tomatoes, onions, and peppers. And today what I'd like to show you is a salsa with a difference. I've already got one mango peeled and diced, and we'll put it into here. And I'd just like to peel one more, just how to show you how to peel a mango. My love affair with mangoes started when I was a lot younger, and I worked in Pakistan for about 9 months. And I came across all these different fruits and vegetables that I really started to enjoy and have continued to eat throughout my life. So what we're going to do is just cross-hatch, put some marks down. We're going to go down to the bottom of the mango here. Turn it around, make it comfortable for yourself. And we go back one more time again. And this is just going to make it into a really nice dice. And then just take a spoon and just go in here and just go over, and all the juice, you want to trap all that lovely juice in there. And there. We need a little bit of this sweet chili sauce. We've got about half of a nice diced red onion there too. And you need a little bit of fresh ginger root. If you're really picky, you might want to peel your ginger root, but I think for this kind of a salsa, it's not really necessary. So we'll just take it, and we want a teaspoon or so. The quantities are not, this is not rocket science, making a salsa like this. You can kind of play around with it a bit until you get to the chilies, and then you have to be kind of careful. It looks like enough of that there now. The next thing we'll do is we'll put a clove of garlic in. And this recipe does need a little bit of salt, just to bring the flavors out. And one good way to deal with a clove of garlic is to first take the flat of your knife and just down like that. And then what we can do is put a little bit of salt that goes into a recipe on top, and it just works as an abrasive and helps you chop up the garlic a little finer. I first learned this trick when I was a child. My father used to make mint sauce all the time, and he always put the sugar in with the mint leaves when he was chopping it up, and he explained to me then that it was an abrasive and it helped work. So, okay, pop that in there. Okay. Now we get to the spicy part of the dish. Here we have some fresh jalapenos, and these are fairly hot. But if you figure this recipe isn't hot enough for you, you might want to try one of these babies here, because this is a habanero, and this is about 40 times hotter than the jalapeno. So I think I'll just pass on it for today, if you don't mind. But you know, the heat of a jalapeno is not down at the tip here. It's further up into the cavity where the seeds are. So a little party trick that I like to pull every now and again is say, "Hi guys, you know, this jalapeno is really bland, it's just nothing." And you pass it to the next person and they get the seeds, and watch out. So let's just get rid of the seeds, because today we're going to make it an average kind of salsa that everybody will enjoy. When you're seeding jalapenos, the volatile oils are going to get on your fingers. Be really careful not to touch your eyes or any other sensitive areas until you've really washed your hands well, and wash them in cold water, not hot water. Cold water closes the pores. Okay, there we go, and that can go into there. The next thing we need, this is really an oriental kind of salsa, is a lime, a fresh lime, the juice of a fresh lime. And if you wanted to, you could take the zest off this lime and add it into the salsa too. I've also done that in previous times. This is a nice juicy lime, and we'll just squeeze this in here. So the last thing we need to do is to add the herb that we're using today, and it's cilantro. In this part of the world, cilantro is mostly grown as an annual. It grows best in your garden in the spring and the fall. It's a hardy annual, so you can start it out really early. It'll take a little tiny bit of frost. In the wintertime, if you don't have access to fresh cilantro at a store nearby, you can always get one of these two plants here. This is Vietnamese cilantro, and the thorny looking character to the side is Mexican coriander, and they will both grow on your windowsill throughout the winter and give you a little fresh supply of a herb that tastes very similar to this. So we need about 1/4 cup for this recipe, and we'll just gather it up and just trim some off the end here. This is coriander, and this is the seed of the cilantro plant. And in Thai cooking, it gets even more complicated. They use the root for another part of the flavoring. And the last thing we're going to put in is about a tablespoon or so of some olive oil, just to bind the whole thing together. And don't forget, I've already put the salt in with the garlic, so we don't need that right now. And just toss this all together. And you could get a little bit more creative, you know, you could put some sweet red pepper in here. And if you don't like mangoes, or if you can't find mangoes, you could use papaya. If you can't find some of those, you can use a fresh pineapple, and failing that, you could use canned pineapple. So I hope you'll try this at home and really enjoy it. Today the herb we used was cilantro, but in this recipe you could use fresh basil or try fresh oregano. This salsa is excellent with the traditional tortilla chips, or combine it with rice and put in a tortilla for a vegetarian wrap. And it's also delicious with grilled white fish.